In the
Progress.
chamber, as well as those listening or viewing online. Today is Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. This is the weekly meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Weber County. I'm Commissioner Gage Frohr. I'll be conducting with me. It will be Commissioner Jim Harvey to my right, Commissioner Sharon Bolos to my left. We're going to start this meeting this morning with a Pledge of Allegiance given by Mr. Bryce Taylor, invocation by Cassie Bybee, and the thought of the day will be coming up. We're looking forward to Commissioner Bolos. We'll go to that point.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Doesn't
I'm
look like
subbing in
Cassie,
for
but Jennifer.
Cassie
Welcome.
this morning. I'm sorry, she's ill this morning, so please join me in prayer.
Thank you.
Father God, we just thank you for allowing us to come together today, Lord, as community members and people that really just want the best for Weber County and our friends and family that live here, Lord. We just ask you to be with the commissioners and all the elected officials, Lord, as they lead our community, that they're guided, Lord, to have your will done. That we can count on them, Lord, and that they've got you as their backup for strength and in their decision making. And Lord, we just ask you to be with us today through this meeting, and we thank you for everything that you have provided for us and made us fortunate enough to be able to partake in. We say these things in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Commissioner Bolos.
The long-awaited moment. I will say I'm usually very prepared for this, and today I'm not. But I found a great quote on Google, and I will share it. It's accredited to Winston Churchill. Success is not forever. Failure is not deadly. What matters is having the courage to keep going. If I personally was going to restate that in simpler terms, I would say success is not forever. Failure is not forever.
Good
I
point.
think we have to make sure that we keep going regardless of which side of success we're falling at the
Wow.
time.
You're exactly right. We're going to talk about marathons here in a second, which I think we can relate to that.
Speaking of which,
All right, with that, let's go to our public comment section of our agenda. Anyone in the chamber that would like to address the commission, now's your opportunity. We'd ask you to take no more than 3 minutes, but please come forward. Seeing no one, anyone online, Shelley? With the raised hand? Okay, that will end our public comment. Let's go to our next section of the agenda, Commissioners, which is a presentation. We're very honored this morning to have a presentation from Eric Baumann, the Executive Director of the Goal Foundation. Eric's been with that organization for a period of time now. The Goal Foundation does a lot of great things for this community, for the county, for the Wasatch Front, primarily in the marathon business. And the Ogden Marathon, I think, stands out as one of the premier marathons, not only in Utah, but the western United States. And I think he'll talk a little bit about the participation. And for those that haven't run that marathon, I'd encourage you to do so. And it's a beautiful time of year, a beautiful venue. You get to see upper Ogden Valley. You get to see a little bit of the lower valley, and probably the premier part of that run, in my opinion, is Ogden Canyon. You get the opportunity to see Ogden Canyon like you'll never see in a car or a bike, and I wouldn't recommend it on a bike anyway. But Eric, you want to take a second, and then he does have a presentation he'd like to make with this piece of artwork, and as soon as you get through, we'll come down and officially
Okay,
donate this to Weber County.
wonderful, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Okay,
I can see you on the screen.
okay. Well, let's
There we
change
go.
that.
Okay,
Let's-
you're up and going.
All right. Well, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. It's an honor to be part of an organization that works so closely with the county, and I believe together we provide so much value. So it's an honor to be here. I'm excited to speak to you a little bit today about the Goal Foundation, and but mainly express my sincere gratitude to all of you and everybody else that makes these events happen. Oops. So the Goal Foundation is a nonprofit located here in Ogden. We were incorporated in 2001, and our mission is to inspire the greater Ogden community and its visitors to get out and live by participating, volunteering, and spectating at recreational and cultural events, programs, and activities. And we really do that in 3 ways. And the first, as you spoke of, is the production of events. And I'll talk more about our events specifically. Can you hear me okay? Do I need to?
Yeah, a little closer to the mic.
Okay, all right. I'll talk more about the events specifically. But the other 2 pieces that we do are supporting events as they come through Weber County with volunteer recruitment and volunteer management. And then the final piece is through providing community programming. And so that is a combination of youth programming and family program that's free to our community. All geared to get people living healthy lifestyles, and that's what GOAL stands for, is get out and live, and that's really our mission. We'll talk first about the produced events, and these are great partnerships that we have with you. Our first one as we kick off our event year is our winter running series. Many of our marathon runners will use this as a training series. It kicks off in February and then has 4 different races. The first three races, the 5K, 10K, and 10-miler, reside in the Lower Ogden Valley, and then the half marathon starts in Eden Park and is in the Upper Valley. Last year we had just shy of 600 participants, and again, this aligns very well with the Ogden Marathon for training, so people can work up to that May time frame. Really excited about the Ogden Marathon. This last year was our 22nd year, and we had just over 6,300 participants from 47 different states and 7 countries. One other thing to note is it's what's called a Boston qualifier. So for anybody who is not in the running world, the Boston Marathon is kind of the pinnacle marathon here, and you have to qualify for it. Our course is certified as a Boston qualifier, and so many people come from all over to run our race to qualify for Boston. And this year we had 98 participants qualify for Boston. There's 5 distances. So there's a full marathon, there's a half marathon, we have a 12K, which was new 2 years ago, that starts at the Oaks and takes advantage of most of the bulk of the canyon and runs down. And then we have a 5K. All of those distances finish right here at 25th and Grant, right in the heart of downtown. And so, like you mentioned earlier, the course is absolutely beautiful. You get a nice preview of Weber County and the upper portion of the course by Kazi, running down South Fork Canyon and around Pine View Reservoir, and then the beautiful canyon and the Parkway finishing up right downtown here. Very proud of this. We were voted for this last year the best marathon in Utah by Race Raves. We have, as you know, a world-class expo that happens at the Weber County Fieldhouse that sees just over 11,000 participants in one day, and that's the day before the marathon. And then we have a free finish line festival, which RAMP is a large component of. And that's down here at the finish line, and that sees just over 15,000 attendees in the one-day period. All in all, the marathon itself this year brought in $1.6 million in economic impact, and so really we had a beautiful year. Those of you that have run it in the past, sometimes we have had some rain, but these last 2 years we've been incredibly blessed and had great weather. Our third event that takes place in July is El Doce, and this is a 12 and 6-hour endurance mountain bike race that takes place at Powder Mountain. This was the 6th year of this event, and it continues to grow. We had 443 bikers participate. These are 12-hour. They can ride that in a solo format, a duo, or a team format, and then we also have a 6-hour format as well. And there's a large festival component that goes with this, with food trucks and like a festival at the base of Powder Mountain while the racers are racing. Oh, I don't know why that screen is like that, but I will.
Yeah, it's
Well,
kinda neat.
have you got the big white thing on the screen? I don't know what the white thing is. Anyway, so this event, this is the Northern Utah Trail Fest, and we just finished this up last weekend at North Fork Park. It was a huge success. This was its second year, and we had substantial growth this year over last year, being the first year. It's a collaborative event with Weber County Parks and Recreation, as well as Trails Foundation of Northern Utah. And there's several different components to this. And I think that's what's so great about this, is it's a festival for all trail users. Doesn't matter what kind of trail user you are, you can come there. There's a mountain bike race. There's a trail running race as well. But outside of the competitive events, there's a large festival. So there were 4 bands that played this year. We had 5 food trucks. We had a kids zone. We had a family activities there. We had guided hikes. We took advantage of North Fork Park being an international dark sky location. We had the Nature Center there with their telescopes, and just all sorts of partners that came together to and it just was a fantastic festival. So very happy with how that event went, and I'm excited to see how that event continues to grow in the future. We had, again, just beautiful weather, and the leaves were perfect. So. Oops. Okay, and then the third component that the Goal Foundation is engaged in is programming, and that's community program. These are free community program events. We put on 3 weeks of youth mountain bike camps with just shy of 60 participants, 4 weeks of indoor rock climbing camps. These are youth programs, both of these programs with 74 participants. We did 4 free guided community hikes. Those are for families of in all ages. We have a partnership with the Golden Hours Senior Center, in which we do guided hikes with them. We did 6 of those this year. And then September, every Wednesday evening in September, we provide free yoga in the park, in the municipal park. And then we also have a shoe give back program. We have a couple of different partnerships, one with Youth Impact, where we provide shoes for the kids in the Youth Impact program, and then also for actively aging seniors at the Golden Hours Center. So great partnerships there. And but mainly what I want to talk about today, especially as this is, I'm completing 4 years, and in November I'll be retiring. But I want to express my sincere gratitude. There are so many pieces to all of this, and none of it would be possible without your support. And since I walked in the door 4 years ago at Goal, I've had nothing but overwhelming support from the Commission and from Weber County and the incredible team that you have here. And so I sincerely want to thank you for every component of that we have a huge law enforcement component that's involved with the marathon, and those officers are incredible. We have Scott Mendoza here, who, with the permitting process, is just fantastic to work with. Todd Ferrario and the Parks and Recreation, that group is unbelievable. And putting on this event last weekend, they are so accommodating, and they're just fantastic. And emergency management helped us through our road cave-in the canyon a week before the marathon that we had this year, and all of our flooding. So, and there's so many more involved with the Weber County team, and I don't want to miss anybody. But so many people are part of making this happen, and we just couldn't do it without you. So, extreme gratitude from me. And it's been an honor and a gift working in an organization and working closely with everybody to see the impact that's being made. So thanks for having me, and I'm happy to take any questions.
There might be a couple, so.
Okay.
Eric,
All right.
just, I want to say from the Commission, since I've been here 4.5 years ago, Goal Foundation has always been one of our prime nonprofits that we see a huge payback to the community. The out-of-state people that come in and stay in our hotels, use our restaurants, helps our TRT. Again, you help us showcase what's great about Weber County. You talk about North Fork Park. You talk about the fine asset we have in terms of the Upper Valley, the Lower Valley, and what you've done for the community, not only just for recreation, but it helps from a health standpoint as well. So too many benefits to really talk about. And if there's any way we could talk you out of retiring, I would sure. We might be able to pass an ordinance up here very shortly this morning to postpone that. But again, thank you for what you've done for the Goal Foundation. It's something that this Weber County and really the Wasatch Front benefits because of what you've done and what your organization's done. and I wanted to have you know that personally.
Well, thank you for those kind
So
words.
now, sir, for some questions. Commissioner Harvey? I know you've always had a couple.
No, but Eric, you've been a good spark plug for that organization. You've lifted a lot of people up, and you've done really you've honored your family name, and we sure appreciate what you've done over there. Appreciate all the opportunities that comes along with being on that board, and just being able to participate. I actually, while having participated in that, not the full, but 4 of the halves, I find my greatest thing, I love being at those buses at 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, and watching all those
Yeah,
runs.
there's an energy there, isn't there?
It's great. It's really, it's worthwhile to volunteer, and so you have a great group of volunteers, and I certainly want to thank you for your leadership over those wonderful volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words.
I know Commissioner Bulloss has participated in a number of your events, so.
I have. My family collectively are all big fans of the Ogden Marathon, so I'm with my daughters trying to work our way up to first place in the women's category
All right.
of the relay. We're almost there. Thanks for all your work. I think my favorite part about the Gold Foundation is the positivity that you bring to the community, and there's a lot of negative things that people can point out, but when you have great events like this, it's hard to find any negativity in those things, and it's just a time for the community to come together and enjoy the beautiful place where we live. So thank you.
Thank you.
So if you wouldn't mind, Eric, if you join us up front, we'll
Okay,
make an
yeah.
official presentation of your nice piece of artwork donation to Weber County.
I'll say.
Thank you. I'm not sure how to shut that off.
You know, Commissioners, I like these presentations. It helps recognize what we really have in this county, in this community. It's people like Eric that makes that happen for us. So appreciate you taking the time to be with us this morning, Eric.
Thank you so much.
All right, Commissioners, let's go to our consent items. Consent items G1 through 8 is what I'm showing. Number 1, request for approval of warrants 9117 through 9185 and 479,566 through 479,752 in the amount of $3,222,743.27. 2, request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $340,072.96. And we'd go to a summary of warrants and purchase orders by Mr. Ricky Hatch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For this week, we issued 16 purchase orders for $340,000. A third of that amount, or $114,000, is for the jail, primarily for case management inventory software, but also for supplies and clothing. Another third, or $112,000, is for the conference center for their door replacement project. 13%, or $43,000, was for IT to purchase software. 7%, or $25,000, is for the library to go towards building repairs and computer replacements. And then 6%, or $19,000, is for the sheriff to purchase a drone and a small boat. For checks, we issued 256 warrants this week for $3.2 million. 44% of that amount, or $1.4 million, was for the transfer station. That went to disposal fees, the purchase of 2 semi-trucks, as well as building and ground improvements. 11%, or $365,000, was 2 ramp awards, one given to the Ogden Nature Center and one to Hooper City. 7%, or $212,000, is for the roads department to purchase supplies, as well as my favorite acronym or alliteration of the day, slurry sealing services. And then 6% or $199,000 is for the jail to purchase radio equipment, a rooftop HVAC replacement, and utilities.
Okay, that concludes your presentation,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Hatch. Questions for Mr. Hatch? Purchase orders, if not?
None.
None? Okay, then I'll go ahead and read the rest of the consent items. Number 4, request for approval of ACH payment to U.S. Bank in the amount of $147,078.28. 5, request for approval of minutes for the meeting held on October 3rd, 2023. 6, request for approval of new business licenses. 7, request for approval to sell surplus property identified as parcel number 5, 135 and 30. 8, request for approval of interlocal agreement by and between Weber County and Brigham City to facilitate citizens of each of their service areas to access the libraries of the other city county to expand and enrich citizens' ability to access international, educational, cultural, and recreational materials. That came about through our great library system here, Commissioner Harvey. So with that, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent items. Or comments?
No, I appreciate this being here, and motion to approve all the consent items G1 through and including 8 is listed.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you very much. Consent items are approved as read. Let's go to action item H1, request for approval of a financial guarantee agreement by and between Weber County and Ogden City for the installation of public improvements associated with the Weber Morgan Children Justice subdivisions. Mr. Rod Layton, this has to do with the CJC. Please come forward.
I'm forward. Thank
Welcome.
you, Commissioners. It's good to see you. As you know, we've been working on this project now for the last 3 years, maybe 3.5 years, to construct a new Children's Justice Center at 1845 Jackson. The property sits on property that is owned by the Ogden School District. We have been working side by side with them. We have approximately 1.9 acres up there. A beautiful lot for what we're trying to accomplish. For that property to be legal and ready for construction, the county had to submit an application for a subdivision up there. That work has been done, and we're in the process of doing that. The subdivision is going to require that there's certain improvements made, public improvements made, so before a dedicated plat can be created for that property. In order to do that, we have approached the Weber County to get a financial guarantee for the city that that work will be done. The estimated cost of installing those improvements is $100,400.65. As those improvements are completed, then that money would be returned to Weber County until we've completed the project. So that's the guaranteed side of that. So I'm here today to request that the approval of those financial guarantees that we can get over to Ogden City between Weber County and the city and start on our project and make those improvements. Project's well on its way. We see no issues at this point, but excited that we can get this done. So just asking for approval on that.
Great. Okay, I think this was something we were briefed on yesterday by Mr. Scott Mendoza about the financial guarantee of $100,000 plus a few dollars.
Yep, $400.65.
Questions, Commissioners?
No questions. Glad to see this moving forward.
Yeah.
Yep, we're getting there.
Yeah, I'm glad to see it finally take off and make sure that we make that by our deadline for the ARPA funding, so
Yep, we will make it.
good. All right, with that, Commissioners, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the financial agreement by and between Weber County and Ogden City as described by Mr. Layton.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thanks, Rod.
Thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate it.
Looks like you have a contract.
Yep.
Okay,
Ready
thank
to
you.
go. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Let's go to our next action item, H2, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Colleen Coburg to provide special conflict counsel. Mr. Jim Ritalik, welcome.
Thank you, not Your Honor, Commissioner.
Just very quickly, the county attorney's office filed an 11 co-defendant RICO action. RICO is Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations. The allegation is that there was an organized ring bringing drugs into the correctional facility and distributing those. With that number of co-defendants, we had to find attorneys that were not conflicted out for all these people. I was able to, between some private attorneys, contractors, and our full-time attorneys, get everybody assigned an attorney with the exception of one. I went to the IDC, requested, and was granted funds of $10,000. And so while this is a contract between Ms. Coburg and the county, it will be reimbursed through the IDC. And if it does exceed that $10,000, they say we can come back and ask for more. So it shouldn't cost the county. I doubt it will cost $10,000, but that's where we started.
Good. So our friends at IDC agreed to pay the $10,000.
They did.
Good. Great.
Okay.
Glad to see
Any
them.
questions?
Questions for Mr. Vitalik? If not, I'd entertain a motion, Commissioners.
Make a motion to approve the contract by and between Weber County and Colleen Coburg.
Great. Thank you. We have a motion.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Have a contract. Thanks, Jim. 3, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Stanley Consultants, Inc. for construction management for Section 4 of the 12th Street widening project. Mr. Tucker Waite, go ahead.
Good
Tucker.
morning, Commissioners. So this is our contract with Stanley Consultants to provide construction management for our Segment 4 of the 12th Street widening project. We're excited to have them. We've worked with them in the past. They do really good work, and they provide good documentation and oversight of the construction. So went through the RFP process. Everything went through smoothly, and they were selected to do this for us. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions for Mr. Waite?
None.
So, Tucker, just to be clear, so this is the continuation of the expansion of 12th Street going from approximately 79 to 81, wherever.
Yeah, so the last segment ended at about 7100
71.
west. So we're going to pick up there and then go as far as we can with the funds that we have. We're hoping to get to 8300, which kind of puts us west of all the houses, but we'll go as far as we can.
And the project's funded, we have now 10 million in the
10
account to
million,
fund
yep.
that project. And
Correct.
so that 10 million will take us as far as we can go
Correct.
west,
Yep,
as I understand it.
yes.
Okay,
Yep. And we're hoping to get this bid out as soon as possible. The design's taking a little bit longer than we anticipated, but we're getting really close to get that out
Great.
to bid.
okay. That's great to see that road slowly improve, Commissioners.
Yeah.
With that, I'd entertain a motion or comments for Mr. Waite.
No comments, Mr. Chair, but I'd gladly approve that consulting contract with Stanley Consultants as presented by Mr. Waite this morning.
Okay.
Second?
And we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye, motion carries. Thanks, Tucker. Let's now go to our next action item, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Virda Facility Services for daily janitorial services for the Weber Center, office areas and common areas. Mr. Bryce Taylor.
Yeah, so this is a contract that we already had in place. We ended up moving to a different company, and went through the bid process on this about a year ago, and so we're just moving to a new company, and this is a new company that'll take over of what we've been doing. So,
This is a new contract.
new contract, yep.
Great. Okay. New contract for janitorial services. We're kind of aware we're in the process of doing the RFP, so it's great to see that.
Yeah.
Questions, Commissioners, or comments? I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the contract by and between Weber County and Verde Facility Services.
Second?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks, Bryce. Let's now go to our next action item, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Hogan Associates Construction to secure services for Phase 1 of the Ogden Nichols Conference Center. Since Cassie Bybee's not here, Jennifer.
Good morning. Yes, this is the Phase 1 of the remodel project. I believe that you commissioners have been brought up to are briefed on how they're going to be doing this in 3 phases, and so we'll be coming back to you with each phase so that we can kind of evaluate each phase, the bid process for that, the value engineering options, and be able to control the budget a little bit better. This is really going to take on some of the most urgent needs, which are the water issues that we're having at the canopy on the east side, the covering of the doorway, and then also the water issues at the stairwell for the parking lot. So this one comes in roughly about the $260,000 range, and work should begin later this month. I believe October 23rd was the date Cassie had slated. And we will be coming back to you soon for phase 2, which will be a larger chunk of the project.
All right, Commissioner Harvey, this is in your portfolio.
Fully support this. Phase 2 is next, and it'll be much more substantial, but this hopefully gets us ahead of the weather.
That'd be nice. Take care of some of that water leakage, huh? Okay. Anything else, Jennifer?
Nope, that is it. We're just looking for approval for this amendment.
Mr. Chair, if you're ready, I'll make a motion that we approve that contract with Hogan and Associates for Phase 1 at the OECC, as presented by Ms. Graham this morning.
Second?
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye, motion carries. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being with us. Let's go now to a public hearing. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this public meeting and reconvene as a public hearing.
So move?
Second?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye, motion carries. We're now in a public hearing to consider and take action on a request to vacate the west side public utility easement within Lot 89 of the Elkhorn subdivision Phase 4, which includes approval of related ordinance. Mr. Phoenix Leverino.
Yes,
Felix,
good morning.
welcome.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. So just kind of a little bit of history on this piece of this subdivision. It was originally designed to have some roads out from this main road, the Elkhorn Drive, and what the development did is they actually came and vacated these little stubs out. So the road portion was vacated, but unfortunately it left behind the public utility easements in its place. So and what it did is also those public utility easements that were in place are now kind of hanging out in the middle of the lot where they shouldn't be, where they don't belong. And so the owner, Mr. Dan Green, who's with us in the audience today, he requested that we work through the process of vacating that easement that doesn't belong there and relocating it to the appropriate area right along the edge of the lot boundary. And so that's what we have today. We have a request to vacate by ordinance this public utility, a 10-foot public utility easement, and we've also included with this report the deed that would create the new easement in its new location, and that's something that's been agreed upon by the developer. The county attorney has reviewed this and accepts that it's inappropriate, and also that the county engineer has looked it over and they agree to this vacation. The owner was actually good to collect letters of consent from these utility providers. They all, Questar Gas and Rocky Mountain Power, consent to this vacation. Wolf Creek Water, they do have a secondary water line that runs through this public utility easement, and so Mr. Dan Green and one of the folks from the water district, the Wolf Creek Water District, is going to work to relocate that secondary water line to along the new property edge. And so that's all been worked out. The county's responsibility in this particular request is to find, does this request, does good cause exist for this vacation? And the public interest or any person will not be materially injured in the proposed vacation. And it is staff's recommendation for approval of this ordinance to vacate the public utility easement within Lot 89 of Elkhorn Subdivision Phase 4. And that concludes my presentation today. Any questions?
Thanks, Felix. Questions for Felix?
I have one question. So the ordinance vacates that easement, and then I guess the ordinance does not need to include the relocation of the easement? That's just recorded?
There is mention of the deed that will be recorded, but the ordinance itself is
Just to
mainly
vacate?
Yes,
Okay.
But you have the deed for the relocation.
Relocation.
That's correct.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
I do
That
have the
that
deed.
relocation doesn't need to be in the ordinance. The
No,
ordinance,
it's a separate document, the
Okay.
deed, yes.
I'm good.
Good. Additional questions?
No.
Okay, anything else, Felix?
No, that's it.
And you did mention that we have letters of consent from the utility companies that may be impacted?
That's right.
Okay, good. That's always nice to have. All right, if no other questions, we'd go to public comments. Anyone that'd like to come forward and talk about this, now's your opportunity. All right, not seeing any petitioner or owner coming forward. Felix, does that conclude your presentation?
It does.
Thank you. All right, let's go now. Anyone online, Shelley? All right. Seeing none, we're going to close public comments, and I'd look for a motion to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene as a public meeting.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're now back to our public meeting, and our action item then would be to look for approval to vacate the West Side Public Utility easement within Lot 89 of the Elkhorn subdivision, Phase 4, related ordinance 2023-30, as just presented this morning, Commissioners.
Is this just a motion to adopt the ordinance, not approval?
So this would
It's sort
be-
of stated like it's two different things. I
Well,
think
so
it's
this
just
would
one.
be, yeah, a motion to approve ordinance 2023-30, which is then relates to the vacation of the parcel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-30.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. All right,
Aye.
hold on, roll call vote, back up.
Roll call vote for ordinance 2023-30. Commissioner Bolos?
Aye.
Commissioner Harvey?
Aye.
Chair Floor?
Aye, thank you. All right, that ordinance did pass. This brings us to commissioner comments at the end of today's commissioner meeting. Any comments?
No.
Comments?
No.
Really? Okay. Well, I think we look forward to seeing everybody. This won't be the last time to be in this room today. As everybody knows, we'll have a public hearing again this afternoon, starting at 6 p.m. to talk about the proposed jail bond. Looking forward to that. Hopefully those that are listening online will be here to give input. We're excited to hear input and have the opportunity for our sheriff to present the jail bond proposal. So with that, Commissioners, I'd entertain a final motion.
Move to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you.